Hey everybody! Today I'm here with a quick, fun tutorial on achieving a marbling effect using the MISTI and some of those solid silhouette type images that you have. To get started, I'm just using the Calling All Heroes stamp set from Stampin' Up. I'm just using this skyline image because it's solid and perfect for this technique. I have the image set up on the lid of my MISTI, and you can see that it's well loved. It has a little bit of staining on it. But I'm just going to make sure that it's straight using the grid lines on the lid of the MISTI, and that it's where I want it on my card. Now I'm inking this image up in Tempting Turquoise ink. I'm going to ink the whole thing. And if it isn't perfectly inked the first time, don't worry about it. The beauty of the MISTI is you can stamp it again. So if your dye ink isn't completely covering your image, no problem. I do like to rub the images with my finger when I'm using solid images. It just helps the ink bond a little bit better with the cardstock, but this looks good, so I don't need to stamp that again. Now you will need a disposable glove for the next part. And what you're going to do is I'm going to take a little Daffodil Delight. I just want to add a second color to the top of these buildings just to give them a little bit of dimension. This is going to result in a green. So you just want to dab a little bit of yellow ink on the top of the buildings. And then just be sure and clean that off because you're going to be using this glove again. So now your stamp is in the same place. So it's just going to highlight the top of those buildings with that blue and yellow makes green color. And now we're going to do the marbling part. Now you can see I'm putting the card in the corner of the MISTI, but I didn't have it in the corner of the MISTI when I started. So I'm going to show you how to fix that in just a second. Now this time you want to get a lot more ink. I'm using Blackberry Bliss here, and you want to kind of use a swirling motion to put it on because you want a very irregular pattern on this darker ink. So now when I go to put my stamp down, you can see because I moved my cardstock like a ding-dong, I shouldn't have, that I need to adjust it and put it back in the position that it was in originally. But since I can see what I'm doing with the lid, this is no problem, and I can just position the stamp over the previously stamped image. So be better than I am and put your cardstock in the same place every time. So that's it. Now you can see that swirling motion that I used created this fun marbling effect on those buildings, and it just gives it sort of an atmospheric look that I really, really like. And it adds a lot of interest to what is just normally a plain solid image. Now here's a card where I also just used that same technique just to shade the balloon, which is always fun when you have a round image that you want to add a little bit of life and dimension to. So I hope you've enjoyed this technique. Thanks so much for watching.